All right, so I've been getting a lot of questions about coming to Jamaica, traveling under crazy COVID conditions and procedures. And so I decided to put together this video to basically share my experience of coming to Jamaica, what I had to do to get here. Yeah, to hopefully inspire you to make the decision to come to this beautiful island, right? Because at the end of the day, my beautiful friends, we gotta keep living. You know, we can't let this thing scare us to death that we're afraid to leave our homes and we're afraid to continue living. It's my belief that what you focus on expands, right? So I just choose not to focus on COVID, and therefore I don't allow it into my consciousness. It just doesn't exist for me. Do I understand it's a serious situation going on in our world? Yes. Do I understand people have died from this? Yes. But ultimately, I know for me, I just can't have anything stop me from ultimately being free and from living, right? So when it came to what I love to do, which is skip out of town from winter, especially in New York, it gets really brutal, it gets really cold. It was a no-brainer for me to decide, you know, to travel and just do what I needed to do to come to Jamaica. So this is just my mindset. It may resonate with you, it may not. No big deal. But you know, it's my belief that, you know, we're in this life to have fun and have experiences, right? So we really can't let this COVID situation stop us from living. It's really important that we continue to thrive, that our souls and these human bodies in this lifetime, you know, enjoys itself. That's what we ultimately exist. We exist to have experiences. So when people ask me, oh, well, you weren't scared to travel, you know, my answer is no, because my belief is what you focus on expands. So I just choose not to focus on COVID, and therefore I don't let it affect my life. I happen to be on the countryside of Jamaica. It's called Portland Parish. It's completely untouched, very local culture, and very raw, very natural. And here, I honestly feel like I am in the safest place on the planet. I'm in the open air, the beautiful Caribbean breeze. I have sun shining on me all day, igniting me with vitamin D. I have ocean, salt water, plucking fresh fruits right off the trees. I feel so healthy while I'm here and so vibrant. And so I feel this is one of the safest places to be. So why would I prevent myself from coming to a place like this, right? Now I'll be hosting some experiences while I'm here in Jamaica for the month of March. So if you're feeling inclined to get out of the cold, low vibration and into some airy, high vibration, then I'm gonna give you the top tips that you need to pay attention to in order to come here to Jamaica. So tip number one, you absolutely cannot save travel to Jamaica or anywhere to the last minute. You can't decide today and hop on a plane tomorrow. Unfortunately, those times are gone. We are in a new reality due to COVID, and these are things that we need to pay attention to. So you really need to be about a week out before your trip. If you're gonna come to Jamaica or travel anywhere, you need to be about 1 week out. Next tip, if you're gonna come to Jamaica, the government has set up protocol to be able to come into the country. So you need to visit jamaica.com, and there you'll find their travel authorization. Now, my suggestion, you need to fill that travel authorization a good week in advance. Sometimes their site goes down and it's under maintenance and you're not able to go on and fill the authorization out. So you want to fill it out well in advance. And it's not a big deal if you don't have your flight yet, you don't have your COVID test results yet. Still fill it out and get it done with, because all you need to do is print it out and have the approval piece of paper with you, and you're good to go. Now on their travel authorization, they ask questions like, you know, have you traveled out of the country in the last 30 days? Have you tested positive for COVID? As long as you're answering no to these questions, the system reads your answers right away and you get a response right away. So within minutes, as long as everything checks out, you'll have your travel authorization approved, and you print that out and you bring it with you. Okay, next tip. You have to take a COVID test before you enter Jamaica, and you have to take that test in your place of origin, and it has to be within 10 days of your arrival into Jamaica. So you want to find a place wherever you live that's going to give you results back promptly. I would say within 2 to 3 days maximum. So you need to plan it out that if you're leaving on a Friday to come to Jamaica, well, you should take your test that Monday before, okay? So make sure you're taking your COVID test early enough to receive the results. So you need to have a negative COVID test result within 10 days of your arrival in Jamaica. Now, the type of COVID tests that the Jamaican government allows are two kinds, either the PCR or the antigen test. So make sure you're taking the right test so you don't get to the airport and then get turned away. Next tip, make sure you print everything out and bring it with you physically when you arrive to the airport. Wherever your origin, your place of origin is, mine was New York. So when I got to JFK, they actually asked me for my travel authorization and my COVID test. They took the piece of the paper, looked it over, and they marked it. Okay, so make sure you print it out and you bring it with you. My friends, you will not get on the plane if you do not come prepared with your travel authorization from Jamaica's website and your negative COVID test results. So while you're in Jamaica, you're supposed to go under a 14-day quarantine. Now this is where people go, 14-day? What if I'm only coming for a few days? What if I'm only coming for 5 days or 7 days? 14 days quarantine, I will spend my whole time inside, right? But when you arrive into the country, they're going to sit you down and they're going to ask you to download an app that basically tracks you while you're here in the country. The 14-day quarantine is highly misunderstood. I didn't understand it when I first came into the country, but basically the Jamaican government has designated resilient corridors. These corridors are areas designated specifically for tourists to be there and enjoy themselves, okay? And most of these resilient corridors are the touristy areas. So you'll still be able to go to the waterfalls, go to the beach, okay, and enjoy yourself, but you just have to stay within these resilient corridors. Now, from my experience, coming into Jamaica and checked off all the protocol, I did my COVID test before leaving, I did my travel authorization, I went to the airport with everything physically printed it out, I got on the plane, I arrived in Jamaica, I downloaded the app to be tracked. And so what the app asks you to do is check in once a day and check in by video. So once a day, the app will ding and remind you to check in, and you basically do a video. And for me, my video went, wagwan, yeah man, I feel real good, I feel real irie. And that's it. It's about 30 seconds, and they just want to know and see that you're not feeling any kind of sickness, any fever, anything, and that you're okay. My final tip, my beautiful friends, is to just follow the protocol, do what everyone is asking of you, come to the island, check in once a day, stay within the resilient corridors, and have an irie time. But the best thing about when you travel is the beaches are always open, right? And here we are, Long Bay. This is a gorgeous beach in Portland Parish, and it's completely empty. And that's another great thing about traveling at this time with COVID is the airports are empty, the beaches are empty, the destinations are empty, and you really have a wonderful opportunity to enjoy it all for yourself. Okay, my beautiful friends, so if you have any questions, you can send me a DM, but I hope you decide to just take the leap of faith and come on out to Jamaica and spend some time with me and Peppa. I got Rasta Bobo, and we're gonna just live the irie dream. No, Peppa, don't lick me on the lips. I love you.